Welcome back to Cooking with Reg-Reg. I know we've been gone for a while, but the first quarter of this year has been kind of crazy, and we're here at home in the work safe, stay at home orders. So tonight we're doing a shepherd's pie. I found this recipe a few weeks ago, tried it just because I happened to have some of the things that I needed for it in our freezer and in our pantry. And everybody in the house went crazy for it, so we're doing it again. And I wanted to share it with you because it's so easy, and once we're past all of this and we can go back to normal, I will add this to our rotation. So for the shepherd's pie, I'm using the lean ground beef. I normally don't buy the beef like this, but this is just how it came. Just a side note, we haven't been going into the grocery store. We've been doing all of our ordering online and picking it up, so you lose a little bit of being able to pick things, and I've switched to frozen onions for the time being. So we have some onions that'll go in with the meat, and then we'll do some mixed vegetables. And when I did this recipe the other week, I used this brown gravy or turkey gravy because I happen to have it in my pantry, and I figured that it would be a good substance to bind everything, and it worked beautifully. And then instead of making my own potatoes, I used instant potatoes. So everything goes together really quickly, really easily, and I hope you guys enjoy this. So let's get started. Okay guys, we're back. Sorry about that. We had to take a little break. It was time for Piper to have her dinner, and then some of the kitties got a little jealous of the attention, so we had to stop for a minute, but we're back. So I'm gonna set the oven to 350. And I'm gonna get started by browning the beef. I'm just gonna spray my pan a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna let this get nice and hot. I want this to get a little bit hotter. While that happens, I'm going to prepare these instant mashed potatoes. So it's 4 cups of water, and then just microwave this. We're gonna microwave it for 6 minutes. I'm gonna put the meat in here. Now this was meat that I had thawed. It was in the freezer, so hopefully it's all ready for me. Just a little bit frozen in the center there. Oh, did any fly out? No. Okay, and then I'm going to add these onions. I've never used frozen onions like this. I really didn't know what to expect. So I'm just going to keep breaking this meat up. Some of that meat is stuck in that. So I'm just going to use this little knife to scrape it out. It normally doesn't do this, so I suspect that it's because it is cold. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit. And I think I just need 1 egg. Okay. So if you've watched my previous videos, you know I'm a huge fan of using paper towels for convenience and for just keeping everything like clean and things separated. But paper towels, as you all know, have been really hard to find. So I've switched to using cloth towels to wash after we wash our hands, to dry our hands. And I just got some command hooks. And I hung them up here, and now we have a constant supply of fresh, dry hand towels. So that's one way we've kind of overcome or adapted, I guess, rather than overcome. I also am more conscious. Used to see me do like a paper plate and have everything like super contained, and I've just gotten like more focused on conserving whatever supplies we have. So now I cook probably twice a day, and sometimes we have do-it-yourself dinner night when I don't cook, and just running the dishwasher a lot. So we're using less paper plates, less paper bowls, but the offset is you do run your dishwasher more. So I'll be back. The water's done for the mashed potatoes. And I'm adding them really slowly because if you've ever made these before and the water's really, really hot, there's a possibility that it just kind of like volcanoes on you. So I'm gonna stir these pretty lightly because we're going to beat an egg into it in a little bit. So I just want to make sure that those flakes got mixed in. And yeah, I totally cheated with this and used instant mashed potatoes, but if you have them available to you and you prefer to make your own, by all means, make your own. When the craziness was happening in the grocery stores and it was hard to find certain foods and certain things that you liked and normally used, I found that there were tons of flaky potatoes. Okay, for the next steps, we're gonna add, we've drained the beef, we've gotten the excess grease off. I'm just gonna add these mixed frozen veggies, this jar of turkey gravy, and this gravy, again, this isn't what the recipe calls for. It wants you to add flour and some other things to act as a binding agent for this mixture. And I had this gravy that I wasn't using, and I decided to use that gravy. It had everything I needed, so I'm gonna mix this in before I turn the heat on. You can see it's already kind of thick enough. Since my veggies are frozen, I'm going to let them cook a little bit in here just to kind of thaw. I want to see what the excess liquid does. And I don't remember, the recipe does ask for beef broth, and I have a lot of chicken broth, so I don't mind using that. But I don't think I used it last time. I think that was a little modification that I made. I don't want this to be too moist, so I'm kind of thinking that I'm not going to add it. I am going to add a little bit of salt. And, I'm going to add some pepper. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to add the broth. I don't really think that we need more liquid. I think this will be just fine. So I'm going to stir this in. Okay, it's really funny because every time, and it's been a long time since we've done a video, but every time we do a video, the animals go crazy. It's like they want our attention and they want it now. So I'm just gonna let this rest here for a minute. I'm gonna take my dirty dishes, put them in the sink. Okay, I just wanna see if these veggies are soft, and they are, so I feel good about this. I'm gonna turn the heat off. Okay, so then the next step is that we're gonna beat an egg. And I'm just using a fork to do that. And in a little bit, we're gonna put the egg mixture in here. I'm gonna spray the pan, the baking dish. Okay. I'm gonna scoop the meat mixture and then just kind of smush it down. So we've been really lucky to be able to find a lot of frozen vegetables, frozen meat. As far as ground beef is pretty easy to get right now. And again, if you're brave and you want to venture into the store, I'm sure you're finding a lot more than what we're doing versus Clicklist or HEB pickup. And I've been using all of the services, HEB, Walmart, Kroger, just to kind of get the different things that we need. And we've been taking this stay-at-home order pretty seriously and not going out unless we really, really have to. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a nice even little layer here. But the other day we did get from our Clicklist some fresh zucchini, and that was amazing to have like fresh zucchini. Okay, so I'm gonna fold this egg into this potato mix. I did not add salt because these are already flavored mashed potatoes that already have salt, but I did add some pepper before I blended the egg. Okay, so now we're going to take this goodness and we're going to smear it on. And I'm just kind of using this flat, it's really a rice cooker spoon, but it works perfect for this. And you can play with this as much as you want. If you want a thicker layer of mashed potatoes, then you can double that up if you want. We really didn't feel the need to do that. We liked it with the kind of a thin layer. And the other change that I make to this recipe is that it does ask you to put some cheese on at the end. And as you know, if you've watched before, we don't use cheese when we're cooking, or dairy. And I don't add dairy. And you should show her. What did you want to say? Piper's been talking. Are you trying to say like and subscribe? Huh? Is that what you're saying? Be sure to hit the like button, hit that notification bell. My goodness, I just think she wanted to be on camera. My hands are clean, so I'm just going to use my finger here to fill in these little gaps. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get. So one of the reasons why you put the egg in that potato mixture is so that when it's cooking, it gets a little browning effect. And to help that, you just take your fork or a knife and you just kind of make little, like, I don't know what you want to call it, waves, peaks. And what will happen is, as it's cooking and browning, these potatoes will really get a nice little crisping effect. Okay, so I'm going to take this and put it in the oven. It says to bake it for 25 minutes, and then after 25 minutes, take it out, add cheese, and cook for another 5 minutes. So we're not gonna do the cheese in the extra 5 minutes. We're just gonna do it about 25 minutes. And I'll eyeball it. I really want those little peaks to get kind of nice and brown. Timer, 25. Okay, so in the 25 minutes that that's gonna bake, I'm going to tidy up the kitchen a little bit. Unfortunately, I didn't run the dishwasher after lunch and our dishwasher's full, so I'm just gonna have to get everything in the sink and ready for when I run the dishwasher again. So I'll take care of that and I'll meet you guys here in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So we've almost hit the 25-minute mark, and what I want to do is I want to put the broiler on and let this broil for just a few minutes to get some nice brown peaks on those potatoes. Okay, so while we're waiting for those potatoes to broil just a tiny bit to get some nice brown peaks on those potatoes, I just want to take a minute to say thank you for joining us. I hope that you have found some of our videos helpful. The whole goal of this channel was teach basic, easy recipes that that you could do at home to avoid the drive-through. And even though drive-throughs are still open, I don't know why you really would want to get out and risk it if you didn't have to. So hopefully you've been able to go through your pantry, go through your freezer, and find some of these recipes helpful. And I've been kind of doing some new things too, so I'll be showing you some of those in the coming days. But let's check these potatoes. Not quite there yet. And in addition to using less paper towels to dry our hands, we're also using regular towels that to clean off the surfaces. Since we don't have Clorox wipes, we don't have an abundance of paper towels. So I do, in addition to running the dishwasher a lot, I also run the washing machine a lot. So while we have this kind of mixed pace of we're at home and you know, we're just here and we do what we have to do, we stay really busy just with doing dishes and washing towels, and it's been a different experience, that's for sure. So hopefully these videos will help give you some ideas on how you can get through this time. Okay, so we're gonna take this out, and I did see when I peeked at it earlier that we have some of the liquid kind of seep to the top. So I'm really happy that I did not add that extra chicken broth, because we would have had like shepherd's soup instead of shepherd's pie. But you can see how in the areas where I fluffed it up with the fork, it made these nice little browned peaks. That's kind of the goal. And so I guess this extra liquid is probably just from the frozen veggies, just maybe adding a little bit more moisture. I don't know, it'll still be delicious. I really hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy, and hang in there. I think we're gonna all get through this, and we'll be able to get back to normal. But until then, just stay calm and be healthy, take care of yourselves, and love one another. Thank you for joining. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and get the notifications. And it's really too hot for us to do a taste test, but we'll scoop it out a little bit later on. Good night.